Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we'll take an enrichment on Unit 4. Unit 4 is titled What They Said. All you need for the lesson today is your books on Unit 4, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started. In this semester, we have taken so far 4 units. The first one was titled Complaints. The second one was about I wonder what happened. 3 was about what if it hadn't happened. And the fourth unit was about what they said. We will focus today on the fourth unit. Okay. How are we going to do it? We will focus on the self-reflection in your books, page 61. What are the objectives? What are the things that we have to focus on? These are the things that we will get to know together. Okay. On page 50, we have discussed the idea of how to report what people said. How to report statements. When you are reporting a statement, the statement will remain the way it is, and you will go 1 tense backward. You have to introduce your sentence. Say, he said, he told me, my mom said, my mom told me. You are introducing the sentence. Then go 1 tense backward. The present is going to go back into the past. The past will go back to be the past perfect. And other models will be changed, like the will be would and the may will be might. Okay, let's try to report these sentences. Qasim said to Hamid, I will meet you at 7 tomorrow. So, what did Qasim say to Hamid? Qasim told Hamid that he would meet him at 7 the next day. So notice that the will have been changed into would, and also we're having you into him and other words. Mr. Jenkins to Mr. Taylor, I will meet you tomorrow as well. He said, Mr. Jenkins told Mr. Taylor that he would meet him the following day. Will into would, and notice tomorrow, the following day. It is not tomorrow for us, it is the following day. Robert to his teacher, I didn't catch my usual bus. What did he say? Robert told his teacher that he hadn't caught his usual bus. Notice the past did had been changed into had caught his usual bus. Here, the customer to the salesperson, I need a bigger size. So the customer told the salesperson that he needed a bigger size. The verb into present into past. Mr. Timms, the witness, to the judge, I have never seen that man before. We're having Mr. Timms told the judge, have, I haven't, so he had never seen that man before. The have into had. The captain to the co-pilot, it may be a falling star. We will change may. The captain told the co-pilot that it might be a falling star. Notice that we have changed in here the may into might, and you can introduce the statement with that. It's optional. Okay. Here in your books 121, we're having here this picture, a car crash. Let's imagine that people had said certain sentences or statements, and we are going to report these. Write down the conversation in your that comes up to in your mind, and let's report it. The first man said that he tried to stop. He said, I tried to stop. The second man said that the other driver was talking on his phone. Past. A witness said that he saw the driver on his cell phone. And also another witness said that was not true at all. So come up with a conversation, imagine that conversation, and report it into reported speech. Then on page 50 as well, we have discussed the idea of how to report a question. We're going to change questions into sentences so we can follow the previous rule. What do? the first thing that we will do, you will introduce your sentence or reported sentence. He asked. He said to me. He wanted to know. Then the following, we need a sentence form. It's a question, so we will change it into a sentence. Subject, verb, and object. Did he into he did. Then you will go one tense backward, the present into past, and the past into past perfect. This is an extra step in here. We have to change the question into a sentence. Subject, then a verb, because we have already introduced it as being a sentence. So let's try to do this one. Here we're having a conversation. Someone asked, will there be a path for cycling? We have started with will. So in here we can say, a man asked if there would be a path for cycling. We have started the question with if instead of the WH question word. Then will there will, and change will into would, a path for cycling. Notice that this one is actually a sentence, it is not a question. Another man asked, do the plans include some basketball courts? Yes, no question. Another man asked if they planned to include some basketball courts. So we're having if, plan, do you plan? So they planned. Then we're having, he said, how long is it going to take? How long? We don't have. Here we're having the WH question, how long? So someone asked how long it was going to take. Notice the S have been changed into was because the present into past. Okay. On page 55, we have discussed some famous quotes. You can refer to the reading lesson for some important quotes. Which one are humorous? Which one are fun? Which one is ironic? Here, an archaeologist is the best husband a woman can have. The older she gets, the more interested he is in her. Who said that? She was actually Agatha Christie. She is a writer. In this one, what can we find? Is it wisdom? And here we're having humor. Anything that is fun, we call it humor. Something that is fun. Another one, everything that can be invented has been invented. Who said that? He was actually Charles Dewall, the commissioner of the U.S. Office of Patent, when? In 1899. He said, we have invented everything that could be invented. Do you agree with him? Not really. Many things had been invented after 1899. So this one, we call it an irony. It is against reality. Also, never let formal education get in the way of your learning. Who said that? Actually, Mark Twain, who was a writer. Here, a comparison between education and learning. Formal education, when you go to school. Learning, when you learn from the experience, from the books that you read, even from school. So generally, learning and formal education is one way of learning. Also, it is a terrible thing to see and have no vision. The differences between see and vision: when you see, generally, however, when you have a vision, you're having a plan. You're having a plan. Who said that? She was actually Helen Keller, the American author, activist, and lecturer. What was different about her? She was the first deaf and blind person to graduate from college. So she was deaf and blind, but she could see, she could have a vision. Okay, so on page 58, we have continued and talked about environmental and natural disasters. Examples, you can refer for more in your books, page 58. Some examples are the tsunami. Tsunami is a natural disaster. Also, earthquake. An earthquake is a natural disaster. Also, floods. Floods are natural disasters, as well as volcanic eruption. Eruption is like the idea of explosion coming from the bottom to the top. Also, we're having pollution. This is actually an environmental issue, an environmental problem. Pollution, land pollution, water pollution, air pollution. Also, we're having illegal hunting. This is a problem when people are hunting and killing animals for the sake of money or just for fun. Also, we're having deforestation. Let's take it one by one. Forest, the forest, people are going to cut down, deforestation, cut down trees for the sake to take the space or for any other reason. Also, we're having a global warming. The temperature is rising every year. It is hotter than the year that comes before it. Some of them are natural disasters, others are we're having global environmental problems. Okay, let's try to come up with the odd word, a word that is different. Global warming, tornado, city, and earthquake. Which word here is different? The word actually city, it doesn't belong. City is a place, global warming, tornado and earthquake are natural disasters and environmental problems. The second group, damage, countryside, hit, and destroy. All of them are verbs except for countryside. Outside the country or the city, countryside. So all of them are verbs except for countryside. Different. Also on page 58 we have discussed how to form negative question from the word a question that is including negative word which is not. Like, isn't there something that we can do? Aren't you going to help? Don't you want to save our planet? When we are saying or coming up with these questions, we are asking for information, actually, asking for explanation or information because it is a question, and the not is giving you to express surprise. You're showing that you're not happy about this thing or you are surprised. Asking for information plus another thing, function, which is to express surprise. How do we form it? A question, all you need to do is just to add the negative not. Okay, let's form these questions. You recognize an old friend at the mall. However, your friend doesn't recognize you. He or she couldn't know who you are. You will tell him, do you recognize me? You can say negative. Don't you recognize me? Instead of do, we will say don't. Don't you recognize me? Couldn't you recognize me? Your friend is eating popcorn and is not offering you any, and you want some. Can I have some? Negative. We will say, aren't you going to offer me any? Instead of are, we will say aren't. Aren't you going to offer me any? I want, and I'm showing surprise. Together. One more. You're playing a board game, and you want a friend to play the game too. Do you want to join us? Express surprise. Don't you want to play too? Do you want? Now we will add the not. Don't you want to play too? Someone came and joined the group. He greeted everyone but forgot you. Do you want to greet me? Negative. Aren't you going to say hello to me too? Here, instead of are you, it will be aren't. Aren't instead of are you. Okay. On page 59, we have discussed the idea of agreement. Instead of you say me too, I did too, or I do too, you can express agreement in a different way. Expressing agreement and disagreement using so or to in the affirmative sentence, either or neither in the negative sentence. Let's take the affirmative sentences. It means we don't have a not. Affirmative. Yes. So we can say, we can use to. I am a careful driver. I am a careful driver too. Just add to at the end of the sentence. You will say, I can swim, and I can swim too. I can swim too. We can also come up with more advanced sentence using so. I am a careful driver and so am I. So am I. Notice that we have changed the order. We have started with the am, then I. I can swim, so can I. How about if the sentence is negative? Negative, it means that we're having not. Usually, we're having with the negative, we have a not, or sometimes we have never. We can use either. So I am not a careless driver. Either. You will add either. I can't swim. I can't swim either. You can't swim and I can't swim as well. We can come up with more advanced sentence and we use neither. So we will say neither am I. Change the order. I can't swim. Neither can I. Neither can I. Let's practice in here. I like coffee. Here, so do I, so I do, or neither do I. Affirmative sentence, so we will not going to use neither, whether so do I or so I do, so it is actually so do I. Next, I don't waste money. Negative here, so you can't use so. Neither do I, neither I do. It is actually neither do I. Start with the modal auxiliary. I worked hard. Notice here we're having a verb in the past and it is affirmative, so not neither. So do I or so did I. Past ed, so we will choose so did I. How about I didn't waste time? Negative, so we will choose neither, not a so. Neither did I, neither I did. It is neither did I. You will start with the modal auxiliary. Okay. Then on page 59 as well, we have discussed the idea of using indirect questions. Questions are of two types. The questions that we know, which are the direct ones, and these are the indirect. They will have an introduction. So, what will you do next? Notice we have here, what will you do next? We have the verb followed by the subject. Will you? Are you? However, for the indirect object, you have to start with, you introduce it with a short question. Can you tell us? Then what will you will be you will. So we're having the subject and the verb. One question is enough, which is can you? Do you know? Then you will change the other one into a statement. This time we're not going to change the tense of the verb. Okay. Now here, where is the bank? Here we're going to change the order in here. Can you tell me or could you tell me where the bank is? We have changed here the order. Where the bank is. How often does the bus come? Here we will use the bus and come, and we will deal with this one. How often? Do you know how often the bus comes? We have added the come, the does into come, so it is comes. What time did the supermarket open? So, do you know what time the supermarket opened? We have added this one into the verb, so it is opened. Next, where is the nearest hospital? Here, could you tell me where the nearest hospital is? Change the order and add the as by the end. When does the store close? Here we will change the order between does and close, so does close. So, do you know when the store closes? Does and close. What is the name of the highway in town? Here we've got the is, so we will say, do you know what the name of the highway to town is? You will add the as by the very end of the statement. Then on page 49 we have given the meaning of some words and their meanings, like proof, candidate, scan and bother, and we will match them with the meanings to make an effort to get an image with a computer, evidence, and person who is trying to be elected. Let's try to match them. A proof. I am having a proof that this thing exists. I can carry it, I can touch it. Proof. Proof is actually the evidence. When you see something, this is the evidence. Candidate, noun. He is actually a person or someone who's trying to be elected. Someone who's going to give people some promises so people will like him, so will vote for him, will select him or her. To scan, this is a verb. Scan, remember the word scanner. To get an image with a computer. It's the idea of scanning to take a picture of someone's head. To bother is to make an effort. Sorry to bother you, to make an effort, or make you making an effort. Okay? I guess that is it for the lesson today, and thank you so much for your time.